Hello, students. Welcome to our class. The chapter that we will be discussing today is all about quadratic equation, particularly, more about definition of quadratic equation. So, ito lang naman yung kailangan nating matandaan sa topic na to. First, we need to illustrate quadratic equation. After that, we could determine whether the equation is quadratic or not. To start with, a quadratic equation in one variable is an equation of the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. However, the a, b, and c here are what we call the real numbers. So these are the real numbers where a is not equal to 0. Tandaan, si a ay dapat hindi equal sa 0. Otherwise, hindi na siya magiging quadratic equation. This is also called the standard form, okay, the standard form of a quadratic equation. So, the standard form of a quadratic equation. Now, as you can see, this quadratic equation in the standard form is also called the second degree polynomial. Why? Kasi yung pinakamataas na degree dito sa polynomial na to is squared. So this is gonna be the second degree polynomial equation. Okay? So basta may nakita kang squared dyan, ayun ang pinakamataas na degree sa isang equation, that makes it quadratic equation. So, the given here, magbibigay ako sa inyo ng mga quadratic equation are not quadratic equation. So, dito ko ilalagay yung quadratic equation, dito naman yung not quadratic equation. So, we will identify kung ano-ano ba yung mga quadratic at kung ano yung mga hindi. The first one is x squared plus 3x minus 5 equals 0. That is quadratic equation. Why? Because in the that is in the standard form, and yung pinakamataas na degree dyan is squared. Okay? So, however, on the other side, 4x minus 12 is not a quadratic equation. Why? That is a linear. Ang pinakamataas na degree dyan is 1. Okay? So, another example would be 3x squared minus 9 equals 0. That is an example of quadratic equation. Kahit hindi pa siya naka-standard form, pero ang pinakamataas na degree niya is squared, that is quadratic equation. On the other hand, 2x cubed minus 3x equals 1 is not a quadratic equation. Bakit? Dahil ang pinakamataas is the cube. Okay? Another example would be 2x squared plus 5x equals 0. Kulang ng constant, no? Yung c. Pero, ang pinakamataas pa rin dyan is squared. That makes it quadratic equation. On the other hand, x raised to 5 equals 4x minus 1. Oh, ang pinakamataas dito is 5 degree. So, that is not a quadratic equation. On the other hand, we have x squared equals 15. Ganun pa rin, no? Ang pinakamataas degree pa rin is squared. Also on the right side, x minus 10 equals 0. No, that is not. That is a linear equation. For the last part in quadratic equation, 4x equals 3x squared plus 8. That is a quadratic equation. Though, hindi siya naka-standard form, pero ang pinakamataas pa rin degree dyan is squared. That makes it quadratic equation. But let me ask you a question. How about this one? Can you think if it is a quadratic equation or not? Okay, feel free to pause this video and try to guess. Okay, so the correct answer is not a quadratic equation. Why? The first thing na kailangan mong gawin dyan is to simplify the equation first. Okay, the left-hand side, we have x times 3x squared. Wait lang, Sir Ice. Bakit hindi yan quadratic? Ang pinakamataas nga na degree dyan is 2. No? Hindi ganun. So, kailangan mo natin simplify. So, x times 3x squared, that is 3x raised to 3. Also, This x will multiply natin sa second term. X times negative 2x, we have negative 2x squared. Finally, this x will multiply to the last term, that will give us x or positive x. X times 1 is positive x equals 0. Then, ayan na yung form. Tignan natin yung mga terms. Ano ba yung pinakamataas na degree? Ang pinakamataas na degree is 3. Therefore, that is not a quadratic equation. Okay? So, alam na natin kung paano identify kung ano-ano yung mga quadratic at hindi. Let me give you an example. So, 3x minus 2. What if ganito yung example natin? And how can we determine if that is a quadratic equation or not? Okay, the first thing that we need to do, kailangan natin gawing standard form itong given equation na to. Since hindi pa nga siya naka-standard form, reviewin muna natin ano ba yung itsura ng standard form. So, ang itsura ng standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Tandaan na, yung a natin kailangan hindi equal yan sa 0. Otherwise, hindi na siya magiging quadratic equation. So, ang kailangan natin gawin is we need first to eliminate the x here. For us to eliminate the x here, we need to multiply x both sides. Bakit? To maintain the balance, kailangan din natin mag-multiply ng x sa kabilang side. Okay? So, then we could do distributive property. First, sa left-hand side, x times 3x. That would give us 3x squared. X times negative 2, that is negative 2x. On the right-hand side, yung x na to, we could cancel them out. At ang may iwan dyan is 1. Okay? Finally, itong 1 na to, we could transfer sa kabilang side, no? Pero, the correct process is we will eliminate this 1 on the right side. So, we could subtract 1 both sides to maintain the balance. Then, 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay? So, 3x squared, that is 3x squared, bring it down. Negative 2x, since wala naman siya kaparehas, bring it down. Negative 1, wala rin naman kaparehas yan, bring it down. Then, naka-standard form na tayo. Okay? So, tingnan natin kung ano yung pinakamataas sa degree. Ang pinakamataas degree is 2. Therefore, this is a quadratic equation. Okay? So, okay, let's proceed to the next example. So, the next example would be x times 2x squared minus 3x plus 1 equals 3. So, in this example, ang gagawin lang natin, i-distribute lang natin si x sa tatlong term. Okay? So, let's start. So, x times 2x squared, that is 2x cubed. X times negative 3x, that is negative 3x squared. X times 1, that is positive x. Then we have 3 sa kabilang side. Okay? So the next thing that we will be doing here is to eliminate the 3 on this right-hand side. So for us to do that, we could subtract 3 both sides. Okay? To eliminate the 3, that makes it 0. 3 minus 3 is 0. So that is equal to 2x cubed. Since wala namang kaparehas yan, like terms, bring it down. Negative 3x squared, bring it down. X, wala rin kaparehas yan, bring it down. And si negative 3, also, wala rin siyang kaparehas. So that is negative 3, bring it down. And let's see, ano yung pinakamataas degree? Ang pinakamataas degree dyan is 3, yung first term. Therefore, that is not a quadratic equation. I hope by simplification of the equation, we could determine the quadratic equation and the non-quadratic equation. So in the next part, for us to determine the values of A, B, and C, let me give you an example. So the first example that we'll be having is 3 times 2x plus 1 squared plus 2 equals 0. So the first thing that you need to do is to review the PEMDAS or the GEMDAS, kung ano man yung alam ninyo. Okay? So, in here, the P represents the parentheses, tignan natin kung meron bang pwedeng simplify sa loob ng parentheses. Si 2x plus 1 cannot be simplified. Proceed tayo sa next part, which is the exponent. So, itong exponent na to, since 2 yan, ibig sabihin, we can expand the 2x plus 1. Since dalawa yan, dalawang beses mong i-multiply si 2x plus 1. Plus 2 equals 0. Okay? So, we all know that we can simplify 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1 by FOIL method. So, 2x times 2x gives us 4x squared. 2x times 1, that is 2x. In the inner term, 1 times 2x, that is positive 2x. Last term, 1 times 1, that is 1. Okay? Close parenthesis, plus 2 equals 0. And balik tayo dito, no? Tignan natin kung may pwede pang i-simplify sa loob ng parenthesis. So, 4x squared, wala naman pwedeng pagsamahin. Si 2x, 2x, I think pwede yan pagsamahin. 2 plus 2, that is 4. Then x will copy, plus 1. Then, yung sa labas is plus 2 equals 0. Okay? By the distributive property, we can simplify 3 times 4x squared, that is 12x squared. 3 times the second term, which is 4x, which gives us 12x. And finally, 3 times the last term 1, or positive 1, that is positive 3. Plus 2 equals 0. And finally, ang pwede na lang natin masimplify dyan is yung dalawang constant dito. Okay? So, 12x squared plus 12x, 3 plus 2, that is 5, equals 0. Then, we already have a standard form of our quadratic equation. So, tignan natin kung ano ba yung A, B, C dito. So, the A would be the first coefficient or the first term coefficient, which is 12. So, highlight lang natin. Ito yung A natin. The second term would be, this one is B. Okay, that is 12 as well. And finally, the third term, or the third coefficient is 5. So, the A is 12, B is 12, C is 5. Yung mga numbers sa first, second term lang yung ABC natin. Okay? So, by using this method, no, we could simplify this quadratic equation. Okay? So, now, let's proceed to the next part. For our last example for this video, we have 2x times 3x plus 2 minus 5 equals 0. Ganun pa rin, ang goal natin ma-identify si A, si B, at si C. Okay? So, by distributive property in this case, 2x times 3x, okay, that which gives us 6x squared. Also, this 2x we will multiply to the second term, 2x times 2, that is 4x. And itong 5 or negative 5, we will bring it down, equals 0. And finally, I think naka-simplified form na siya. So, the ABC here, so identify natin yung ABC. This is gonna be the A, that is 6. The B, we have 4 or positive 4. Consider the sign ha. And the C would be negative 5. Okay, so dito ko na sinulat yung final answer niyan. Kapag pinapa-identify yung A, B, and C, ganito po yung gagawin natin. Okay? So therefore, the A, B, C here, respectively, 6, 4, and negative 5. I believe this concludes our session for today. So if you have question, please feel free to comment your question in the comment section. See you in our next quest.